My assistant's voice comes through the intercom. Your family is here. They say it's urgent. I'm in my office on the 42nd floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown. Glass desk, Herman Miller chair, minimalist decor that costs more than my first apartment. The office of someone who's made it. My family? I repeat. I haven't spoken to them in 11 years. 11 years of complete silence. No calls, no texts, no emails, nothing. Yes, your parents, and 2 others. They're insisting they need to see you. Should I send them up? I check the time. 3:45 p.m. I have a board meeting at 4:30. That gives me exactly 45 minutes. Conference room B. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I finish the email I'm writing. Close my laptop. Stand up. Straighten my tie. Italian silk. Custom tailored. Costs more than my father used to spend on clothes in a month. I look out at the city. My city now. The one I conquered without them. Then I walk to the conference room. They're already seated when I arrive. 4 of them. My father, my mother, my Uncle Richard, my Aunt Patricia, all dressed up, Sunday best, smiling too hard, trying to look comfortable in a building they don't belong in. I close the door, sit at the head of the table. Don't offer water. Don't make small talk. Just look at them. The clock on the wall ticks. Digital. Silent. But I can feel every second. My father clears his throat. Son, we don't. I hold up one hand. You'll get your chance to talk. I'll give you exactly 60 seconds. Then I'll respond. Then you'll leave. Understood? They exchange glances. Confused. They expected warmth. Reconciliation. Gratitude, maybe. Not this. Go ahead, I say, checking my watch. Your 60 seconds starts now. My father stumbles through a prepared speech. Something about tough love and wanting the best for you and proud of what you've accomplished and family is forever. My mother cries on cue, talks about missing you and so many years lost and we saw you on TV. There it is. The real reason. They saw me on Cnbc this morning, saw the interview, saw the company valuation, saw the success they'd told me I'd never achieve. My uncle tries to joke. You always were the smartest one. We knew you'd figure it out eventually. Lie. They'd written me off. Called me a failure, a lost cause, an embarrassment. Time, I say when 60 seconds pass. My turn. They lean forward, expectant, ready for forgiveness, ready for me to welcome them back with open arms and access to my world. You stopped being my family 11 years ago, I say calmly. Today didn't change that. This meeting is over. I stand up. Silence. Complete, shocked silence. Wait, my father starts. You called me a lost cause. Remember? Said I'd never amount to anything. Said I embarrassed you. Said I wasn't worth your time. I looked directly at him. You were right about one thing. I'm not worth your time. Now. Back then. Ever. We're done here. I walk to the door. Open it. My assistant is standing there with 2 security guards. I'd texted her before entering the room. Please escort them to the lobby. Add their names to the building's restricted list. They're not to return. I walk back to my office. Don't look back. Don't wait for their response. Don't give them the satisfaction of seeing any emotion on my face. The entire meeting lasted 90 seconds, and that was exactly 90 seconds more than they deserved. Before we get into how we got here, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment with your city or country. I love knowing where you're all watching from. And if this story resonates with anyone who's been written off by their family, hit that hype button. This one's for you. All right, let's get into it. The 90-second meeting didn't happen by accident. It was the culmination of 14 years of choices. 14 years of being told I was nothing and choosing to build something anyway. 14 years of silence that taught me more than any family ever could. This is that story, from rock bottom to the top, from lost cause to billionaire, from abandoned to self-made. I grew up in a family where status was everything. Not wealth, we weren't wealthy, but the appearance of success, the perception of achievement, the ability to tell neighbors and relatives and church members about your accomplished children. College degrees were currency, graduate degrees were even better, professional careers were the ultimate goal, doctor, lawyer, engineer, something you could brag about at dinner parties. I was the oldest, the one who was supposed to set the example, supposed to make them proud, supposed to validate their parenting and their values and their choices. I failed, not because I was stupid, not because I didn't try, but because I was drowning and nobody noticed. I started college as a biology major, pre-med track, my father's dream. He'd wanted to be a doctor but couldn't afford medical school, so I was supposed to do it for him, live the life he couldn't, make his dream come true through me. I hated biology, hated chemistry, hated organic chemistry with a passion that kept me up at night. But I didn't tell anyone because you didn't question the plan. The plan was sacred. The plan was non-negotiable. Freshman year, I barely scraped by. 2.1 GPA. My father was disappointed but optimistic. You're adjusting. Sophomore year will be better. Sophomore year was worse. 1.8 GPA. I was failing organic chemistry, struggling in physics, drowning in material I couldn't understand and didn't care about. Depression setting in, anxiety crushing me. But I didn't tell anyone because mental health wasn't something we discussed. You just tried harder and pushed through. What's wrong with you? My father demanded during winter break. Are you even trying? Are you going to parties instead of studying? Are you wasting the money we're spending? I'm trying. It's just hard. It's supposed to be hard. That's why not everyone becomes a doctor. But you're better than this. You're smarter than this. Stop making excuses. I switched majors spring semester to business, something I actually had interest in. Thought maybe if I was studying something I cared about, I could pull my grades up. My father was furious. Business? Business? That's what people who can't hack real majors do. You're throwing away your future. You're throwing away everything we've worked for. It's my future, not yours. Don't you dare. We're paying for this education. We're investing in you. The least you can do is follow through on the plan. I hate biology. I hate chemistry. I can't do this anymore. You can. You're just not trying hard enough. You're being weak. You're giving up. Junior year was my last year. I couldn't do it anymore. The depression was crushing. The anxiety was constant. I was having panic attacks before exams. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Couldn't function. I failed 3 classes that fall. Was put on academic probation. The university sent a letter. My parents got a copy. The phone call came on a Tuesday evening. You're done, my father said. Not angry, just cold. Final. You're done embarrassing us. You're done wasting our money. You're done pretending you're going to succeed at this. I'm not pretending. I'm struggling. I need help. You need to grow up. You need to take responsibility. You need to stop being a failure. I'm not a failure. Yes, you are. You're a lost cause. We invested everything in you and you threw it away. You're weak. You're unmotivated. You're an embarrassment. Dad, don't call me that. A son would make his family proud. You've done nothing but disappoint us. From this point forward, you're on your own. Figure out your life yourself. We're done. He hung up. I tried calling back. Blocked. I tried texting. No response. I tried emailing. Bounced back. My mother called once. 2 days later. Your father is very disappointed. We all are. We've told the family that you're taking time off to work. We're not telling them you failed out. We're not embarrassing ourselves like that. Don't contact us. Don't show up at family events. You're not welcome until you fix this. How am I supposed to fix it without support? You should have thought about that before you gave up. Goodbye. She hung up. Blocked my number too. I tried reaching out to extended family. My Uncle Richard, my Aunt Patricia, cousins, everyone. All blocked. All silent. All following my parents' lead. I saw their posts on social media. Family gatherings, holidays, birthdays, celebrations, photos of everyone smiling, captions about blessed family and so grateful for everyone here. Everyone except me. I wasn't in photos, wasn't in captions, wasn't mentioned. It was like I'd been erased. I dropped out officially after that semester, didn't see the point in staying, moved to a different city, started completely over with nothing but a few $100s and a car that barely ran. I was 20 years old, alone, labeled a failure by everyone who was supposed to love me unconditionally, and the silence began. 11 years of complete, deliberate silence. The first year was the hardest. Not financially, though that was brutal, but emotionally. The absence of family during every milestone, every holiday, every moment when you're supposed to have support. I worked at a call center at first. Customer service. $8 an hour. 40 hours a week of people yelling at me about their cable bills or their internet speeds or their late fees. I lived in a studio apartment that cost $400 a month. Shared bathroom down the hall, no AC, heat that barely worked, roaches that considered me the intruder. I ate ramen, peanut butter sandwiches, whatever was cheapest, shopped at dollar stores, bought clothes from thrift stores, lived as cheaply as humanly possible because every dollar mattered. My 21st birthday came and went. No cards, no calls, no acknowledgement. I spent it alone in my apartment, eating takeout Chinese food and watching TV. Thanksgiving. Alone. I saw my family's Facebook posts. Big dinner, everyone gathered, my mother's caption about grateful for family. I wasn't in any photos, wasn't mentioned, just erased. Christmas, alone again. More family photos. Presents under a tree. Happy faces. My name never mentioned. I stopped checking social media after that. It hurt too much, seeing them be a family without me, seeing them celebrate while I survived. But the silence also freed me. I didn't have to live up to their expectations anymore, didn't have to follow their plan, didn't have to be who they wanted me to be. I could figure out who I actually was. I quit the call center after 6 months, started working sales at a small tech company, business to business, cold calling, door to door sometimes. It was hard. Rejection was constant. But I was good at it. I learned how to read people, how to handle objections, how to close deals, how to turn a no into a maybe and a maybe into a yes. After a year, I was the top salesperson, making commission, actual money, not rich but comfortable. I moved to a better apartment, 1 bedroom, my own bathroom, no roaches. I was 22, starting to rebuild. But my family still didn't know, didn't care, didn't reach out. And the silence continued. I sent my mother a text on her birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you're well. No response. Message delivered but never opened. I sent my father a card on Father's Day, generic. Thinking of you. It came back unopened. Return to sender, written on it in my mother's handwriting. They didn't want contact. They wanted me gone. So I disappeared completely. Stopped trying. Stopped hoping for reconciliation. Stopped waiting for them to realize they'd been cruel. I focused on learning instead. Sales, operations, management, leadership. Every job was a classroom. Every mistake was a lesson. Every success was validation that I wasn't the failure they'd labeled me. By 24, I was managing a sales team. By 25, I was running operations for a small company. By 26, I understood how businesses worked, how to scale, how to find gaps in markets, how to build something real. I saw an opportunity in logistics software. Small businesses were struggling with inventory management, shipping coordination, vendor relationships. Everything was manual, scattered, inefficient. I started building a solution, used savings, maxed out credit cards, worked nights and weekends, built a minimum viable product that solved one problem really well, found my first customer through cold outreach, a small warehouse. They paid $500 a month for the software. It worked. It saved them time. They referred me to another warehouse, then another, then another. I was 27. My company was barely surviving, but it was surviving. Revenue was growing, slowly. 5 customers, then 10, then 20. I hired my first employee, developer, someone who could build faster and better than I could. Then a second employee, salesperson, someone who could sell while I focused on product. Year 2, we broke even. 50 customers. Sustainable revenue, not profitable, but not dying. Year 3, we scaled. 150 customers. First big client, a logistics company with 20 warehouses. They paid us $50,000 a year. Real money. Validation that we'd built something valuable. I reinvested everything. Hired more developers, more salespeople, better infrastructure, better product, better everything. Year 4, we crossed 1,000 customers. Multiple enterprise clients. Revenue hit $5 million. We were growing. Actually growing. My family had no idea. I never posted on social media, never bragged, never reached out to tell them. The silence was mutual now. They'd chosen it. I'd accepted it. But I wasn't building this to prove them wrong. I was building it because it was the only thing I knew how to do. Build, create, solve problems, make something from nothing. By year 7, we had 10,000 customers. Revenue was $60 million. We raised our first venture capital round. Series A. $20 million. Valuation of $100 million. I was 33, a millionaire on paper, running a real company with 200 employees, living in a nice apartment in a nice neighborhood, driving a nice car, living a life my family couldn't imagine. But they still didn't know. The silence had lasted so long, it was just normal now. By year 10, we'd grown to 50,000 customers. Revenue was $200 million. We raised Series B, $80 million. Valuation hit $320 million. Major publications started covering us. Forbes, TechCrunch, Business Insider, articles about the fastest growing logistics software company and the founder who built a $320 million company from nothing. My name was out there. My face was out there. But I still didn't reach out to my family. What would I say? Remember me? The failure? The lost cause? Yeah, I'm doing okay now. No. The silence was better, cleaner, honest. Then CNBC called. They wanted to interview me about the company's growth, our recent valuation, trends in logistics technology. Sure, I said. When? Tomorrow, live segment, 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll be there. But that interview, that 9-minute segment on CNBC that would reactivate 11 years of silence, was the culmination of a decade of work that no one saw, the grinding years, the building years, the years that transformed me from a failure into a CEO. Those years deserve their full story. Because success isn't magic. It's not luck. It's thousands of small decisions, hundreds of late nights, dozens of near failures, and one person who refused to quit. Year 1. Survival mode. The first year of building the company almost killed me. I'm not being dramatic. I worked 100-hour weeks, coded during the day, sold to customers at night, supported existing customers on weekends, sleep became optional, food became fuel, nothing more. I maxed out 3 credit cards building the first version of the software, $30,000 in debt at 18% interest. Each month, I faced the same choice, pay the minimums on the cards or buy real food. Usually I chose debt payments and survived on ramen, peanut butter, and dollar store bread. My first customer, that warehouse paying $500 a month, almost quit after week 6. The software had serious bugs. It crashed, lost data twice. The owner called me furious. This isn't working. This is making things worse. Not better. We're canceling. I couldn't lose him. He was my only revenue. My only proof this could work. Give me 48 hours. Let me fix everything. I'll move into your warehouse if I have to. Just don't cancel yet. 48 hours. That's it. I brought a sleeping bag, lived in his warehouse for 2 days straight, debugged every line of code, rewrote entire sections, tested every possible scenario, survived on vending machine coffee and energy drinks, slept maybe 4 hours total on the warehouse floor using my jacket as a pillow. After 48 hours, I had it working. Stable, fast, reliable. It's actually working now, he said, surprised. Okay, we'll stick with it. That customer stayed, and he referred me to 3 other warehouses. Those referrals became customers 4, 5, and 6. They kept me alive. Year 2. The first hires month 13, I hired employee number 1, Sarah, developer. She'd been working at a boring corporate job making $80,000 a year. I offered $60,000 plus 2% equity. That's a pay cut, she said. It's an opportunity. You'll be employee number 1 at a company that could be huge, or you can stay comfortable and watch someone else take this chance. She took it. Best decision I ever made. She rebuilt half the codebase, fixed bugs I didn't even know existed, and turned my scrappy software into something professional. Employee number 2 was Marcus, sales, my former manager from the sales job. He'd watched me become the top performer. When I told him about my company, he was skeptical but interested. What's the pay? $50,000 base plus 10% commission on everything you close plus 1% equity. I'm making $100,000 now. For now. But when we scale, you'll make 5 times that, and you'll own part of it. He took the bet. Closed 20 customers in his first quarter, 40 in his second. He was a machine. Year 3. The enterprise deal. Month 34 changed everything. A logistics company with 20 warehouses reached out. They'd heard about us from a customer. Wanted to evaluate our software for their entire operation. I flew out to meet them. First business flight of my life. First hotel nicer than a Motel 6. I wore the same suit I'd bought 3 years ago for $200 at Men's Warehouse. The meeting was intimidating, 10 executives around a conference table, all staring at me skeptically. I was 29, no degree, no pedigree, just confidence and a product that worked. Why should we trust you? The CEO asked. You're young, your company is small, we're risking our entire operation on your software. You're not risking anything. Do a 3-month pilot in 5 warehouses. If it doesn't work, you've wasted 90 days. If it does work, and it will, you'll save $400,000 annually across 20 warehouses. That's optimistic. That's conservative, based on data from my existing customers. Some are saving more. They did the pilot. It worked. They rolled out to all 20 warehouses. 50,000 annual contract. Our biggest customer. Our proof we could handle enterprise. That customer became our case study. Other logistics companies saw it. Wanted the same results. We signed 5 more enterprise clients that year. Years 4 through 7. The scale revenue climbed 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 40 million, 60 million. Each year was harder than the last, but also more rewarding. I hired aggressively, 50 employees, then 100, then 150, then 200. Each hire was a bet. Each person needed to perform. Most did. Some didn't. I learned to hire fast and fire faster when it wasn't working. We moved offices 3 times. From a tiny shared space to a small office to a medium office to a full floor in a downtown building. Each move felt like proof we were real. Growing, succeeding. I paid off my credit cards in year 4. All $30,000 plus accumulated interest. Walking out of the bank after making the final payment, I felt lighter, freer. Like I'd finally escaped the poverty that had defined my 20s. Years 8 through 10. The venture capital. When we hit 60 million in revenue, venture capital firms started calling. We'd like to discuss an investment. I took meetings with 10 firms, listened to their pitches, their visions, their promises. Sequoia stood out. Top-tier firm. They'd backed Google, Apple, PayPal. They saw something in what we'd built. We want to invest 20 million at a 100 million pre-money valuation, the partner said. We think you can be a billion-dollar company. We want to help you get there. I took the deal. Series A funding, $20 million. My ownership diluted from 100% to 65%, but 65% of 100 million was 65 million. On paper, I was worth more than I'd ever imagined. The money accelerated everything. We hired the best developers, the best salespeople, the best everything. We expanded into new markets, built new features, acquired 2 smaller competitors. Revenue climbed, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million. Each milestone felt impossible until we hit it, then it felt inevitable. Year 10, we raised Series B, 80 million at a 320 million pre-money valuation. My ownership diluted to 55%, 176 million on paper. I was 33. The dropout they'd called a lost cause was worth more than my entire extended family combined. And they had no idea, because I'd never told them, never posted, never bragged, just quietly built an empire they couldn't comprehend. Those 10 years, from 23 to 33, were brutal. Every single day was a fight. Against competitors, against my own limitations, against the voice in my head that sometimes whispered, maybe they were right about you. But I won every fight, not because I was smarter or more talented, but because I refused to lose. Because losing meant proving them right. And I'd rather die than prove them right. So I built, and built, and built. Until I'd built something so substantial it couldn't be ignored. That's when the media started calling. Forbes, TechCrunch, Business Insider. Everyone wanted the story of the dropout who built a $300 million company. And then Cnbc called, for the interview that would change everything. I did the interview, talked about the company, the industry, our vision, stayed professional, confident, composed. My name and title appeared on screen. CEO and founder, $320 valuation. Somewhere my family was watching. I didn't know it then, but I'd find out soon enough. The interview aired at 9 a.m. By 9:15, my phone was ringing. Numbers I didn't recognize. Voicemails from area codes I hadn't seen in years. Emails to my personal account, the one I'd had since college, the one I'd almost forgotten existed. I didn't answer, didn't listen to the voicemails, didn't open the emails. I was in back-to-back meetings. Building a company doesn't stop because you were on TV. By noon, my assistant mentioned something. You have a lot of personal calls coming through. Should I be screening them differently? Who's calling? People claiming to be family, your father, your mother, an uncle. They all say it's urgent. The words hit me like a physical blow. 11 years. 11 years of silence. And now, suddenly, it's urgent. Tell them I'm unavailable. For how long? Indefinitely. She nodded. Professional. Didn't ask questions. That's why I'd hired her. But the calls kept coming. And all afternoon, my father, my mother, my Uncle Richard, my Aunt Patricia, even cousins I hadn't spoken to since before college. The voicemails were variations on a theme. Son, it's Dad. Saw you on TV. Very impressive. We should talk. Call me back. Sweetie, it's Mom. We saw your interview. We're so proud. Please call us. We miss you. Hey, it's Uncle Richard. Long time. Saw you're doing well. Family would love to reconnect. Let's grab dinner. Every message was the same. No apology. No acknowledgement of the 11 years. No recognition of what they'd done. Just, we saw you succeeded. Let's reconnect. Like success was the password that granted re-entry to my life. I didn't respond. Deleted every voicemail. Blocked the numbers. Marked the emails as spam. But they were persistent. My father called the office directly. Got through to reception. I need to speak with my son. It's urgent. Family emergency. There's no emergency, I told my assistant when she relayed the message. Don't put him through. Understood. My mother tried a different approach. Sent a letter to the office. Actual physical letter. My assistant opened it, part of her job screening my mail. Do you want to see this? She asked, holding the envelope. What does it say? It's from your mother, talking about family, about how proud they are, about wanting to reconnect, about trash it. You're sure? Completely sure. The letter went in the shredder, but they weren't done. By end of day, I had 17 missed calls from various family members, texts to my old number that I hadn't used in years but apparently still worked, LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages to an account I'd abandoned, all saying the same thing. We saw you. We're proud. We want to reconnect. Let's talk. Not, we're sorry. Not, we were wrong. Not, we shouldn't have cut you off. Just, we want access to your success now that it's visible. I was in a late meeting when my assistant knocked. She never interrupted late meetings. I'm sorry to interrupt. Your family is downstairs, at reception. They say they need to see you, that it's important. I checked the time. 3:45 p.m. How many? 4. Your parents and 2 others. I thought about it. I could have security escort them out, could refuse to see them, could maintain the boundary they'd established 11 years ago. But part of me wanted to see their faces, wanted to see them realize that success didn't automatically grant them access, wanted closure on my terms. Conference room B. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Should I stay close? Yes, and have security ready. This will be short. I take the long way to the conference room, through the main office floor, past my employees, 200 people working at desks, in meetings, building something together, something I built without family support, without their approval, without their belief. I see my reflection in the glass walls, Italian suit, confident posture, the face of someone who succeeded despite being written off. When I enter the conference room, they're already seated. 4 of them, like I knew, my father, my mother, my Uncle Richard, my Aunt Patricia, all dressed up. My father in a suit he probably bought for this meeting, my mother in a dress that's too formal for 3:45 on a Wednesday. All of them trying to look like they belong in this building. They don't. I close the door. The click echoes. I take the seat at the head of the table, the power position, the position that says, this is my territory. Hi, my mother says, voice breaking. You look wonderful, so successful. We saw you on TV this morning. I say nothing, just look at them. We're so proud of you, my father adds. We always knew you'd figure things out eventually. Just took a different path than we expected. Lie. They didn't know anything. They'd written me off. Lost cause, embarrassment, failure. My Uncle Richard leans forward. You've built something incredible, really incredible. We were just talking about how talented you've always been, natural entrepreneur. More lies. They'd never said that, never believed that, never saw me as anything but a disappointment. We've missed you, my Aunt Patricia says. These years without you have been so hard. Family isn't complete without you. I let them talk. Let them dig themselves deeper. Let them reveal exactly who they are. People who only value success. People who only want relationships with winners. People whose love is conditional on achievement. After about 60 seconds, my father clears his throat. We know there was some tension when you left school. We were just worried about you, wanted the best for you. Maybe we were too harsh, but that's all in the past now. What matters is family, and family is forever. We want you back in our lives. Family is forever. The words are almost funny. Family was forever until I failed. Then family was conditional. Now that I've succeeded, suddenly family is forever again. I check my watch. They've been talking for exactly 62 seconds. My turn? I ask. They nod, expectant, ready for me to welcome them back, ready for forgiveness, ready for access. I stand up. You stopped being my family 11 years ago, when you called me a lost cause, when you blocked my number, when you erased me from photos and gatherings and your lives. You made it clear I was only worth your time if I met your standards. I didn't meet them, so you cut me off. We were trying to motivate you. My father starts. I hold up one hand. He stops talking. Today didn't change that. Me appearing on Cnbc didn't change that. My company's valuation didn't change that. Your decision was made 11 years ago. I'm just confirming it now. We're not family. We haven't been family. We won't be family. You can't mean that, my mother says, tears starting. We're your parents. We'll always be your parents. You can't just... You cut me off when I was struggling, when I needed support, when I was drowning. You called me weak, an embarrassment, a failure. Those were your words, not mine, yours. We were disappointed, my father tries. You were cruel. There's a difference. And now you show up because you saw me on TV? Because you want to be associated with success? Because you want to tell your friends and neighbors that your son is a CEO? No. You don't get that. You don't get to be proud now. You don't get to claim me as family now. You made your choice. I'm respecting it. I walk to the door. Open it. My assistant is standing there with 2 security guards, exactly as planned. You called me a lost cause, I say, looking directly at my father. You were right. I was a lost cause for your approval. I was a lost cause for your love. I was a lost cause for your support. But I wasn't a lost cause for success. I just had to find it without you. Please, my mother starts. This meeting is over. These gentlemen will escort you to the lobby. Your names will be added to the building's restricted list. Don't come back, don't call, don't email. The silence you started 11 years ago, it's permanent now. I look at the security guards. Please escort them out. My father stands up. You'll regret this. Family is important. You'll realize that when you have kids, when you need us. I won't need you. I haven't needed you for 11 years. I won't need you for the next 11 or the next 50. I built this without you. I'll build everything else without you. Goodbye. I walk out. Don't look back. Don't wait for responses. Don't give them another second. I check my watch as I walk back to my office. The entire meeting lasted 92 seconds. 2 seconds over my estimate, but still under 2 minutes. 92 seconds to end an 11-year silence with finality. 92 seconds to close a door they'd opened. 92 seconds to confirm what they'd taught me. Approval isn't required to build a life. I go back to my office. Close the door, sit at my desk, look out at the city. My hands are shaking slightly. Adrenaline. Not anger, not satisfaction. Just the physical response to confrontation. My phone buzzes. Text from my assistant. They've left the building. Security confirmed. Names added to restricted list. Thank you, I type back. I have 15 minutes before my next meeting. Board meeting, quarterly review, numbers and projections and strategy. The work that actually matters. I open my laptop, check emails, respond to the urgent ones, prepare for the meeting, go through the motions of running a company. Because that's what this is now, my company, my team, my responsibility. Not revenge, not vindication, just work. There's a knock on my door. Come in. My COO, Marcus, second person I hired. Been with me for 9 years, knows my history, knows what today meant. You okay? He asks. Yeah. That was them? Your family? Former family. How'd it go? Exactly how it needed to. Short, final, done? He nods. You did the right thing. Did I? They cut you off when you needed them. Showed up when they wanted something. That's not family. That's opportunism. You don't owe them anything. I know, but it still feels strange. Closing that door permanently. Oh, you didn't close it. They did. 11 years ago. You just locked it today. He's right. I know he's right. But knowing something intellectually and feeling it emotionally are different things. Board meeting in 10, he says. You ready? Always. The board meeting goes well. Revenue is up. Customer retention is up. Pipeline is strong. We're on track for another strong quarter. Maybe another funding round next year. Maybe an IPO in 2 or 3 years. The metrics are good. The trajectory is right. The company is healthy. After the meeting, board members congratulate me on the Cnbc appearance, on the quarter's performance, on the company's growth. You've built something special, one board member says. Not many people can scale a company like this, especially from nothing. What's your secret? I think about the answer. The real answer. The one I can't say out loud. The secret is being written off, being told you're worthless, being abandoned when you need support most. The secret is having no safety net, no backup plan, no family to catch you if you fail. The secret is knowing that if you don't succeed, no one will care. No one will help. You'll just disappear. The secret is desperation dressed up as determination. But I don't say that. I say focus, discipline, surrounding yourself with the right people, solving real problems. He nods, accepts the answer, moves on to talk about market trends. I go home that evening around 7, late by normal standards, early by my standards. I usually stay until 9 or 10. My apartment, penthouse technically, is quiet, minimally furnished. I don't spend much time here. It's just a place to sleep and occasionally eat. I order takeout, sit on my couch, turn on the TV, don't really watch it, just let it play in the background while I think. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Hello? It's me. My father's voice. He must have called from someone else's phone. We need to talk? No, we don't. I was clear this afternoon. We're done. You can't just cut off your family. You cut me off. I'm just returning the favor. 11 years late, but better late than never. We made a mistake. We admit it. We were too hard on you. We should have supported you differently, but we're family. Family forgives. Family supports. Family shows up. Family doesn't call their kids lost causes and block their numbers. You weren't family when it mattered. You don't get to be family now that it's convenient. Is this about money? Do you think we want your money? We don't want money. We want a relationship. You want to be associated with success. You want to tell people your son is a CEO. You want to benefit from proximity to achievement. That's not a relationship. That's networking. That's not fair. You know what wasn't fair? Being 20 years old, struggling with depression, failing out of school, and having my parents tell me I was an embarrassment, that I was weak, that I was worthless. That's what wasn't fair. We were trying to motivate you. You were trying to control me. And when I didn't perform the way you wanted, you discarded me. That was your choice. Live with it. You're being unreasonable. I'm being consistent. You taught me that love is conditional. That support is earned. That family is only family when it's convenient. I learned the lesson. Now I'm applying it. I hang up. Block the number. Add it to my growing list of blocked numbers. My phone buzzes again. Different number. My mother this time. I don't answer. Send it to voicemail. Block that number too. They'll keep trying. I know they will. They'll use different phones, different emails, different tactics. They'll try guilt. They'll try manipulation. They'll try everything except genuine remorse. But it won't work, because I've already grieved the family I thought I had. I grieved them 11 years ago. Spent years coming to terms with the fact that I was alone, that I'd always be alone, that the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally had conditions I couldn't meet. Today wasn't opening a wound. Today was confirming it had healed. I finish my takeout, throw away the containers, get ready for bed, set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. I have an early meeting with our development team. New features to review, product roadmap to finalize. The work never stops. Before I sleep, I check my phone one last time. 17 missed calls from various numbers, 8 voicemails, 12 text messages, all from family members, all variations on the same theme. Please talk to us. We're sorry. Give us another chance. I delete them all, block all the numbers, put my phone on, do not disturb, and I sleep better than I have in weeks. The attempts at contact continued for a week, different numbers, different approaches, different family members trying different tactics. My Uncle Richard sent an email to my work address. I understand you're hurt, but family is important. Life is short. Don't let pride prevent reconciliation. Pride. Like my boundary was about pride. Like refusing to let people back in who'd abandoned me was arrogance instead of self-preservation. I didn't respond. Filtered his email to spam. My cousin Jennifer, someone I barely remembered from childhood, reached out on LinkedIn. Hey, long time. Saw your success. So inspiring. Would love to catch up. Coffee? The transparency was almost insulting. We'd never been close. She'd never reached out in 11 years. But now that I was visible, publicly successful, suddenly she wanted coffee. I declined the request, blocked her profile. My Aunt Patricia tried calling from a number that looked like a business line, got through to my assistant. I have a Patricia on the line. Says she's your aunt. Says it's regarding a family matter that requires your immediate attention. It doesn't. Add her to the block list. Any calls from anyone claiming to be family should be routed directly to security. Understood. The persistence was almost impressive, but I'd built a company worth $320 million. I knew how to handle persistence. You just outlast it. Eventually, people get tired. They move on. They find easier targets. By week 2, the attempts slowed. 5 calls instead of 15, 3 emails instead of 10. They were giving up, realizing the door was actually closed. My father tried one last time, showed up at the building at 7:30 a.m. before I'd even arrived. Security called me. Sir, there's a gentleman in the lobby claiming to be your father. Says he needs to speak with you. Should we allow him up? No. Tell him he's trespassing. If he doesn't leave voluntarily, call the police. Understood. I arrived at the office an hour later. Security confirmed he'd left after being threatened with police involvement. Did he leave a message? I asked. He said to tell you, I'm still your father. That doesn't change? I almost laughed. Still my father. Like biology mattered more than behavior, like DNA meant more than years of rejection. If he returns, call the police immediately. Don't warn him, just call them. Yes, sir. That was the last attempt. After that, silence. Real silence. The kind I'd initiated this time. Work became my focus. It always had been, but now it was complete. No distractions, no emotional energy wasted on people who didn't deserve it. We signed 3 new enterprise clients that month, expanded into 2 new markets, hired 50 more employees. The company was growing faster than ever. You seem lighter, Marcus observed during a strategy meeting, more focused. Closed a door that needed closing. The family thing? Yeah. No regrets? None. They weren't family. They were critics who shared my DNA. There's a difference. You're better off. I know. And I was, measurably better. My stress levels dropped, my sleep improved, my decision-making sharpened. Turns out carrying the weight of toxic family relationships was heavier than I'd realized. Removing that weight was liberating. 3 months after the 92nd meeting, we closed our Series C funding round. $150 million. Valuation jumped to $800 million. Officially a unicorn startup. Rare. Valuable. Successful. Forbes did a feature article. From dropout to unicorn, how one CEO built an $800 million company without a college degree. The article was flattering. Talked about my journey, my persistence, my vision. It mentioned I'd dropped out of college. Mentioned I'd built the company from nothing. Mentioned I'd overcome adversity. It didn't mention my family. I'd made sure of that. When the reporter asked about my background, I'd said, I built this alone. That's all that matters. She'd pressed. No family support, no mentors, no early believers. I had employees who believed in the mission, customers who saw value, investors who took a chance. That was enough. The article came out well, generated buzz, generated more customer interest, generated more investor interest. We were officially on the map. I didn't send the article to my family, didn't post it anywhere they might see it. Their awareness of my success wasn't my concern anymore, but I knew they saw it, because the attempts at contact resumed, briefly. Another wave of calls, emails, LinkedIn messages, all saying the same thing. We saw the Forbes article. We're so proud. We always knew you'd succeed. I didn't respond, didn't acknowledge, didn't engage, just maintained the boundary. They'd made their choice 11 years ago. I'd confirmed it 3 months ago. Nothing had changed. Nothing would change. A year after the 92nd meeting, my company went public. IPO, NASDAQ listing, opening bell ceremony. Everything I'd never imagined when I was eating ramen in a roach-infested studio apartment. We priced at $42 per share. Opened at $68, closed the first day at $72. Market cap hit $3 billion. $3 billion? With a B, a number so large it didn't feel real. I was a billionaire on paper, not liquid. Most of my wealth was tied up in stock with vesting schedules and lockup periods that would take years to fully unlock. But on paper, officially, mathematically, a billionaire. The math was simple and surreal. I owned 55% of the company after dilutions from funding rounds. 55% of $3 billion was $1,650 million. More money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. More money than my entire extended family would earn in their combined lifetimes. The kid they called a lost cause was worth more than all of them combined. Times 10. The media coverage was overwhelming. CNBC did a full 30-minute segment. Not a quick interview, a full episode about the company, the journey, the IPO. Bloomberg called it one of the most successful tech IPOs of the year. Forbes updated their article with the new valuation, adding me to their billionaire list. Wall Street Journal did a profile that ran on the front page of the business section. My face was everywhere. My story was everywhere. From college dropout to billionaire CEO. How one man built a 3B company without a degree. The lost cause who found $3 billion. That last headline stung a little, but it was accurate. I had been a lost cause. To them, not to me. I didn't mention my family in any interview. Reporters asked. They always asked about family support, about who believed in me, about where I came from. I gave the same answer every time. I had a great team. Early employees who believed in the vision, investors who took a chance, customers who trusted us. That was my support system. When pressed about parents or siblings, I'd deflect. I prefer to focus on the people who showed up. That's what matters. Most reporters let it drop, but a few dug deeper. One particularly persistent journalist from the Wall Street Journal did some research, found the gap in my history, the silence, the missing family. I notice you never mention your parents, or any family. Can I ask why? They're not part of this story. But surely they're proud. They're not part of this story, I repeated, firm, final. The journalist got the message and moved on. I knew my family was watching, knew they were seeing every article, every interview, every headline, knew they were realizing exactly how successful I'd become, knew they were understanding what they'd dismissed. But I didn't hear from them after that first wave of calls after CNBC. No attempts at contact after I'd made it clear the door was closed. Just silence. The silence I'd lived with for 11 years before they broke it. The silence that was now permanent. Maybe they'd finally accepted it. Maybe they'd finally understood that success doesn't automatically grant access. Maybe they'd moved on to tell their friends and neighbors some edited version of events where they'd always supported me and always knew I'd succeed. Or maybe they were just waiting for me to change my mind, waiting for me to decide I needed family after all, waiting for the guilt or loneliness or societal pressure to make me soften. They'd be waiting forever. The IPO was celebrated at the office. Champagne, real champagne, expensive stuff, speeches from the leadership team, photos with employees who'd been there since the early days, everyone who'd built this company together celebrating what we'd accomplished together. Sarah, my first employee, gave a toast. I took a chance on a dropout with an idea 11 years ago. Best decision I ever made. Here's to taking chances on people who have more determination than credentials. Marcus, employee number 2, followed. To the hungriest founder I ever met. The guy who wouldn't quit even when quitting was the logical choice. Thanks for letting us build this with you. I gave the final toast. To all of you. You're the reason we're here. You believed when belief was hard. You worked when the outcome was uncertain. You built this company as much as I did. This isn't my success. It's ours. Thank you. The room erupted in cheers. Glasses clinked. People hugged. Some cried. Happy tears, relief tears, tears of disbelief that we'd actually done it. Marcus pulled me aside during the celebration, away from the noise. How does it feel? Really? Strange. Good. Surreal. Like it's happening to someone else and I'm just watching. You did it. You actually did it. Built a $1 billion company from nothing, from a maxed-out credit card and a roach-infested apartment. We did it. This wasn't me alone. This was all of us. You, Sarah, everyone in this room. I couldn't have done this alone. You started it alone. When everyone said you'd fail, when your own family wrote you off, you started building anyway. We just helped finish what you started. You did more than help. You believed when no one else did. When I was just a 27-year-old dropout with an idea and $30,000 in credit card debt. You believed? You gave me a reason to believe. You were hungry. Really hungry. Desperate even. I saw it from the first interview. You were building this company whether anyone helped you or not. I just wanted to be part of it. I'm glad you were. I'm glad you all were. I looked around the office. 287 employees now. People I'd hired. People who'd taken chances on a startup that was barely surviving when they joined. People who'd turned down safer, higher-paying jobs at established companies to build something new with me. This was family. Real family. The kind that shows up. The kind that works together toward shared goals. The kind that celebrates victories and endures setbacks together. The kind that matters. I didn't need the family I was born into. I'd built a better one, a chosen one. a family based on mutual respect and shared purpose instead of obligation and blood. That evening, I went home to my penthouse, 3,000 square feet, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of the entire city, more space than I knew what to do with. I poured a glass of whiskey. Macallan 25, $300 a bottle. The kind of luxury I'd never even imagined when I was counting pennies for gas money. Sat on my balcony overlooking the city lights, thought about the journey, really thought about it. Let myself feel the weight of it. 20 years old, dropped out, alone, broke, labeled a failure, living in a studio apartment with roaches, working in a call center, making $8 an hour, future uncertain, confidence shattered, family gone, 34 years old, IPO, billionaire, CEO of a public company, living in a penthouse, respected, successful, future unlimited, confidence earned, family rebuilt on my own terms. The gap between those 2 points was 14 years. 14 years of grinding. 14 years of building. 14 years of proving that the only person who gets to define you is you. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Had trained myself to ignore unknown numbers. Too many reporters, too many people wanting something, too many distant acquaintances suddenly interested in reconnecting. But something made me answer this time. Intuition, curiosity, masochism, maybe all three. Hello? Congratulations on the IPO. My father's voice? I recognized it immediately, even though I hadn't heard it in over a year. Older than I remembered, quieter, different somehow. The arrogance was gone, replaced with something that sounded like humility. Thank you. I saw the coverage, all of it. The Cnbc segment, the Bloomberg interview, the Forbes article, the Wall Street Journal profile, all of it. I'm sure you did. Silence for a long moment. Then, I'm sorry. For what I said, for how I treated you, for cutting you off. I was wrong. You weren't a lost cause. You were struggling, and instead of helping, I made it worse. I'm sorry. The apology hung in the air between us. I waited for the qualification. The but, the excuse, the justification, the way people soften apologies to make themselves feel better. But he just waited, silent, like he'd finally run out of words, like he'd finally understood that some things can't be explained or justified or softened. They can only be apologized for. I appreciate the apology, I said carefully, but it doesn't change anything. The damage is done. The relationship is over. The door is closed. I've moved on. I understand. I just needed you to know. I was wrong. Your mother was wrong. Your uncle, your aunt, all of us, we were all wrong. You succeeded despite us, not because of us. In fact, you succeeded because you didn't have us dragging you down. And I'm sorry we weren't there when you needed us. I'm sorry we weren't the family you deserved. The apology was more complete than I'd expected, more genuine, more self-aware, but it still didn't change anything. Okay. Can I ask one thing? You can ask. Are you happy? Really happy? Or is all of this, the money, the success, the company, is it filling the void we created? Are you trying to prove us wrong, or have you actually moved past it? The question caught me off guard. It was perceptive. More perceptive than I'd thought he was capable of being. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Was I happy, or was I just successful? There's a difference. Yes, I said finally. I am happy. I built something I'm proud of, something that matters. We employ hundreds of people. We solve real problems for thousands of customers. We create value. That makes me happy. I surrounded myself with people I respect, people who show up, people who work toward shared goals. That makes me happy. I prove to myself, not to you, to myself, that I'm capable, that I'm enough, that I don't need external validation to have worth. That makes me happy. Good. That's all that matters. That's all that should have ever mattered. I'm sorry it took me this long to understand that. Me too. I hope someday you can forgive us, but I understand if you can't. What we did was unforgivable. We should have supported you, should have helped you, should have been family. We weren't. That's on us, not on you. Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, son. I'm proud of you. I know I don't have the right to say that. I know I didn't earn it, but I'm proud of you anyway. You're remarkable. You always were. I just couldn't see it. I hung up without responding, sat with the conversation, let it wash over me. The apology felt genuine, More genuine than the desperate attempts a year ago. More genuine than I'd thought possible. But genuine doesn't erase 14 years. Doesn't undo the trauma of abandonment. Doesn't rebuild trust that was shattered at its foundation. Maybe someday I'd forgive them. Maybe in another 10 years when the wounds are fully scarred over. Maybe when I have kids of my own and understand parenting better. Maybe when enough time has passed that I can look back without pain. But not today. Not this year. Probably not next year either. The boundary stays. The door stays closed. The separation remains permanent. Because some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Some relationships, once broken, can't be repaired. Some words, once spoken, can't be taken back. And that's okay. That's healthy. That's self-preservation. Because I learned something crucial from all of this. You don't need your family's approval to succeed. You don't need their support to build something valuable. You don't need their validation to be happy. You don't need their presence to have a meaningful life. You just need yourself, your determination, your refusal to accept other people's limiting beliefs as truth, your willingness to build when everyone says you'll fail, your courage to stand alone when standing with others requires compromising yourself. They called me a lost cause. And in a way, they were right. I was lost to them, to their expectations, to their narrow definition of success, to their conditional love, to their fragile egos that required their children to follow predetermined paths. But I wasn't lost to myself. I found myself in the struggle, in the building, in the failure and recovery and trying again, in the late nights and early mornings and weekends without rest, in the decision to keep going when quitting was the logical choice. And what I found was someone who didn't need them at all, someone who was complete without their approval, someone who could build an extraordinary life from ordinary circumstances, someone who was enough. That's the real victory. Not the billion-dollar company, that's just numbers. Not the Cnbc interviews, that's just media. Not the Forbes articles, that's just press. Not even the IPU, that's just a financial event. The real victory is internal. It's knowing I'm enough. It's understanding my worth isn't determined by other people's opinions. It's recognizing that the only approval I need is my own. It's building a life I'm proud of, regardless of who's watching or celebrating or acknowledging. They taught me that. Unintentionally, cruelly, through abandonment instead of support, through rejection instead of love, through silence instead of encouragement. But they taught me the most valuable lesson I ever learned. You can't depend on anyone else. You can only depend on yourself. Everyone else is optional. You are essential. And for that lesson, painful as it was, I'm actually grateful. Because without it, I might have stayed safe, might have followed their plan, might have become the doctor they wanted instead of the CEO I became, might have built a life that made them proud instead of a life that makes me happy. Their rejection was the greatest gift they never meant to give. It forced me to become self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-directed, self-made. And that's worth more than their approval ever was. The end.